So,
good job.
you know, everybody say small hinges, swings big doors. Tiny little adjustments. When we start to incorporate these adjustments, they make a very, very big difference, right? Just tiny little adjustments, like having subtle facial expressions, making these subtle little micro movements instead of just being stifled up there in one place. We're making subtle little movements with our face. And sometimes it's not even what the coach is saying. It's just a matter of being in the environment. If we are in the environment long enough, a lot gets soaked in through osmosis. Everybody say proximity is power. Just being close to someone that is totally unhinged, it rubs up on you and you start to pick it up. And then before you know it, you start to question, what's the norm? What's my charge out there? You got a phone, are you at 52% of expression? I want you to be, you don't always have to be 100%. I'm not saying always 100%. That's a lot of expression, a lot of fuel, okay? Okay, a lot of fuel. But I'm saying, like, can we at least be at 80%? What's the norm? Because if you look at what society says is the norm, they think that we should, you know, most people try to be a certain way. They try to be stifled. They try to be corporate, or they try to be normal. I don't want to rock the boat. And in this class, we rock the boat. We rock the boat a lot. So we start to like create a new norm. Almost imagine it like we have a thermostat in our subconscious mind, and that thermostat is always going to be at that level that it's programmed. So if you're a 72 degreer, when it comes to speaking, you're always going to be 72 degrees. Sometimes you might catch yourself going 85, and you're like, oh, but I'm a 72er. Let me go back down. And the way to change your subconscious mind is to be around people that are operating at 110%. Does that make sense? That's why we said earlier, environment is stronger than willpower. It's not so much what I'm saying. It's the fact that what you're seeing, what you're feeling. Some of you guys, you watched my YouTube videos, and it's totally different in person, is it not? Very different. Same video, same content. What's different about it though? There's things that we can't express. Like a dog has this ability to know from far away if there's a threat and to protect its owner. Things that are beyond our understanding. Do you think that we have a lot of intuition, a lot of, you know, ability to pick up on stuff that we can't even explain? So that's one of the things that I do inside the public speaking class, you know, is you're around this environment. We level the bar up here, meaning when you're here, you're going to be expressive, because I won't have anything else. Like, that's the standard. Everybody say, I'm not going to get my goals.
I'm not going to get my goals.
I'm going to get my standards.
I'm going to get my standards.
Something that is a must. For me, being expressive is a must. And I make it a must for my students. We have a no man left behind environment and mentality. That means everybody in my class gets results. Everybody. There's not one person that has signed up for the program that they haven't got amazing breakthroughs in their personalities. And what happens is pretty soon a deep level identity shift starts to take place, and then you start to go out there and you realize that, man, I'm changing, I'm transforming, I'm not the same. It started in the class. But you should ask yourself, do I have to turn off this expressive self when I walk out of these doors? And you're going to see that it feels better, and it actually requires less energy to be more expressive. How is that possible? Requires less energy to be more expressive. How is that possible, by the way? See, a power plant doesn't have energy. It creates energy. Does that make sense? A power plant creates energy. So if you can create that energy, you start to realize, oh, it's actually easier to be powerful than to be a less version of myself. Because that's not really who you are. I'm here to tell you that that stifled version, that nervous version, that smaller person with alligator hands, real short, and let me not take up space, let me not go on the outer edges of the power sphere. That's a little too... That's not really you. I'm here to tell you, that's not you. That's not really you. That's a persona that you have taken on due to a lot of society's conditioning, whether that's school, whether that's whatever you saw growing up. It could be a million different things, but that's not really who you are. I'm here to tell you that. So we can all put on this character that's powerful. All right, any questions that bubbled up? Any observations, thoughts? Questions, anything at all? How are we feeling?
Is there any step-by-step process to improve the skills?
The step-by-step happens in real time. Like I showed you earlier, that was just a little tip right there to scratch like the iceberg. Like it was just a little bit of like, okay, let's just scratch a little bit, but it was literally just a tip. But essentially, public speaking is not one of those things that, hey, we're gonna write down a certain kind of thing, formula. You can't read about push-ups. There's certain things you just gotta do it, but you gotta do it with the trained eye that knows exactly what to look for, because there's all these little minute changes that, like I was working on, they don't happen right away. The loud voice, I mean, I could tell he was, you guys could tell, he was still holding back. You said you see him louder at home. So there's no tip, like how do I get louder? It's about spending time in the pocket, being here. And so it's not like, hey, if you do this, if X, then Y. Public speaking doesn't work like that. We gotta get the muscle memory, we got to get the feeling in our neurology, and then eventually it starts to kick in. And what happens a lot of times, what I'm also surprised about is that in one session, like people can get real tremendous breakthroughs just in one session. I've seen that so many times. We have a training where we put on a 4-hour intensive every single week. So every other Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m. in Roswell, I book out a half-day training, and we go and we train, and everybody's going up there in front of the class, and sometimes I'll have people go up for multiple times, and they're up there. Last week we had 2 new girls that started, and I had them up there 4 to 5 times throughout that 4 hours. And then we have classes every other Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m. And it's not like today. Today is more like meet the coach type of thing. Do I like what the coach is saying? Do I like the energy? That type of thing. In the class, it's very different. You'll be speaking a lot, and it's always going to be videotaped. And you're going to start to collect footage of yourself in action. So you start to look at Rolodexes of vignettes of you performing when the pressure was on, when the eyeballs were staring at you. How did I come across? That's part of the magic that happens in the classes. And yeah, we do got formulas too. We do got formulas for how to create keynotes. You know, how do I structure a speech? It's not in the scope of today's session. Those are more elaborate, where I would have to get on a whiteboard and write out, you know, some more deep dive type of concepts.